bungee jumping. Yes, that is me hanging upside down. It was very fun. So yes, that was what Saturday would look like. On Sundays, we would go to church. We weren't involved in one particular church. We went to many different churches, ranging from Watoto Church, which is a huge mega church with like high-tech PowerPoints, multimedia, that kind of thing, to teeny tiny little village church with pretty much next to nothing besides a bench to sit on. And so my church experience ranged hugely, but all of them were very enjoyable. Here's a picture of we're at a village church, and that day we were involved in helping teach Sunday school, so that's just what that picture is there. So yeah, that was a typical week. We also had a few untypical weeks. We spent 2 different weeks doing mission outreach to different villages. The first time we went to Gulu, which is in northern Uganda. And if you know anything about the history of northern Uganda, you know that in the past it's been very, very dangerous and unstable and very war-torn. And while it's not unstable right now, there's still definitely suffering the effects of the war that was in Uganda. So while we were there, we did some outreach stuff with the kids, but our main project was building a house for a grandma and her 8 grandchildren. And when I say house, I mean something roughly about the size of my bedroom for 9 people. So yeah, that's me attempting to lay mortar, whatever it's called. Yeah, I wasn't very good at it. I tried. So that was Gulu. It was an interesting experience to go for a week living the hardcore village life, meaning no running water, no electricity. Our toilets consisted of a hole in the ground. Our showers consisted of a bucket. So, needless to say, my hygiene habits were way down that week. But yeah, while I was experiencing it, I really didn't mind it. I didn't mind the simplicity of it all, and I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, after I was back to civilization, I was definitely glad to have running water and a flushing toilet and everything again. But it really was a fun experience, and yeah, it was neat. The second village outreach that we did was to a village called Luwero. Luwero was a little bit closer, and we spent that time, our main project was building a goat shed. Our group split up into 4 different teams, and we met up with kids who were sponsored by the Power Child, and we found our families, and we built a goat shed. As you can see, it's built from bamboo tied together with banana leaves with mud as the walls, and we purchased them 2 goats for each family, and then the goats can have baby goats, and then they can sell them and make a profit out of that. So it was just a really fun experience getting to build something and start it and finish it, and to know that it's going to benefit them and that they'll be able to make a living off of it. So that was a really fun experience. Okay, let's see. Todd asked me to share what my favorite part and my least favorite part were about the trip. Okay, so my favorite part, kind of hard to, well, yeah. My favorite part is what I like to call the Ugandan smile. Now, there's nothing in the world like a smile from a person from Uganda. I'll show you an example. See that? Their skin is so dark and so beautiful, and their teeth are so white, and their smile just takes up half their face. When you see them, you can't just help but smile back, and you want to just run up to them and give them a big hug. And it was just, I can't even describe how awesome it was just to see these kids who have next to nothing, but they don't even realize that they're missing anything. They're just so happy and so joyful, and it was just definitely my favorite part, just to see the joy on these kids' faces. My least favorite part is the picture of some kids from the slums. The days that we went to visit the slums were definitely the hardest for me. It's just something that's really, really hard to deal with when you go to a place and you meet this kid and they take you to their home. which is literally probably a third the size of my bedroom. And then you meet the rest of their family. And then you find out there's 11 people living in this little teeny shack that's, no joke, a third the size of my bedroom. And everything's just dirty, and it was just really, really hard to see. And it was something that I wasn't really sure how to deal with it. Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be feeling. Am I supposed to be feeling guilty that I have so much? Am I supposed to be feeling sorry for them? Am I supposed to be sad? I didn't know. And it was just really hard trying to figure out how to deal with this, knowing that I have so much and these kids here have so little. And so that was just a really, really hard thing that I had to struggle with, trying to figure out how I felt about that. And Todd also asked me to share what I learned, what I felt God was teaching me while I was there. When I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, because I learned a lot, I was trying to figure out how to condense it and combine it into something that I could share with you all. I had no idea where to begin. So earlier this week, I was doing my devotion, and I was like, okay, God, what is it you want me to share? So I started my journal, and I wrote a lot. And then at the end, I was going back through and I picked out a few things that I'm going to share with you that I felt was what God was teaching me. And it kind of combines my favorite thing and my least favorite thing together into what I learned. So I just was going to read it to you. Oh, and I wrote it in perspective that it was Jesus talking to me, so everything first person is what Jesus would be saying. So, okay. These are my children, and I love them so much more than you ever can. The hurt that you feel when you see their physical living conditions is nothing like the hurt that I feel when I see the living conditions of some people's hearts. Yes, my Ugandan children are physically poor, but they have a joy that comes from me that most people never experience. In my eyes, they are the ones who are rich, and you are poor. When you spend your time with me and rediscover the awe of life, when you strive to be like those little children, that's when you know what true joy is, what it means to truly live. Life isn't about material possessions, or lack thereof. It's about trusting me with your whole self, and having your greatest desire being to please me and bring me glory. I'm desperate for my lost children to come back to me, and I want to use you to help. I don't need your help. I never did, and I never will. But I want you to be blessed by it, so I'm choosing you to be one of my messengers. There are hurting and broken people everywhere, not just you, not just in Uganda. Your job is to find them and to point them towards me so that I can heal them. You're right, you alone can do nothing. But if you are willing, I will use you to bring people back to me. You just need to be willing to accept the call and to let go of the fear that other people may reject you when you try. It was never about you anyway. It's about serving me and serving the people because of me. So that's what I learned. And that's all I have to say. Next, I have just a short little video of a bunch of pictures. I realize some of the pictures go kind of quickly, but when I had well over 2,000 pictures, it was kind of difficult trying to pick out just a few. So I had maybe a little too many for this short song, so it goes a little fast. And it's set to this song, God of the City by Chris Tomlin, and it just talks about how God brings hope to the hopeless and how He has big plans for the city. And I had heard the song before, but I never really listened to the words until I was in Uganda. And from now on, I'll probably always associate that song with Uganda. So, yeah.